I'm Katie, Media and Brand Manager at Whitethorn Games. Today, we're here to talk about the game Calico from Peachy Keen Games and celebrate its 5-year anniversary. We've loved seeing all of your cafés over the past few years, and we hope you'll stick around for 5 more. Over the next few minutes, we're going to be sharing some updates and announcements from the developers, as well as highlighting some of the best moments over the past few years. Stay tuned.
I started gaming when I was 2. My dad was a gamer and he had us playing Legend of Zelda. It's cheesy to say, but I always knew I wanted to be a game designer. Calico is a magical girl cat cafe sim. You are a magical girl in a town of magical girls and witches, and you run the cat cafe in the village. Your main goals are to collect as many cuddly creatures as possible, and you can also make pastries and decorate cakes, decorate your furniture, and basically everything I've ever wanted to do in all my favorite games just put into one. So I'm a Sailor Moon kid. I grew up watching Sailor Moon, and it really is that sort of powerful, they can do anything, encapsulated in a little tiny pink pastel blob. And you don't see a lot of just unapologetically feminine games, but the main thing is just embracing soft and gentle and pleasant, and being able to run with that. The indie scene is just so wonderful and communal. A big part of what got me into actually starting to make the game is realizing that things like Unity allow us to have that level of customization that we want to make a cute and cuddly game. So my best friend, Andrew, the wonderful cuddly connoisseur who is doing the programming for our game, he had the idea of riding giant cats, and I've never felt so connected to a creator in my entire life.
I'm James Lewis, Director of the ID at Xbox Developer Acceleration Program. And for those that may not know, the Developer Acceleration Program started 6 years ago with a goal to champion and empower creators in games that were overlooked by the broader games industry. One of the first games that we signed and the first game to release through the DAP program to go on to reach players on Xbox was Calico. Calico exemplified inclusivity, from the body-positive character customization options to the gameplay that broke from the intense, high-stakes, high-stress norms that players were used to. It was a game that embraced being cozy before the term cozy was widely used to define a genre. It was a game that dared to believe that some people wanted to put down their weapons and instead run a cat cafe. In many ways, Calico also exemplified the mission of our program: to help empower creators seeking to share new experiences that have the potential to welcome new players. Calico's success can be measured in a number of ways, but one thing that is difficult to quantify is the number of teams that were inspired to pursue their own ideas because of this game. It's hard to put a finger on the impact that this game has had on the industry and making more players feel seen and included. So with that, I want to offer a congrats to Peachy Keen Games and Whitethorn Games for 5 years of delighting fans and players. On behalf of the team at the ID at Xbox Developer Acceleration Program, we are honored to have played a role in your journey, and here's to several years to come.
I'm sure you're having fun checking out all of the things from the past, but you're here for updates. So here's a sneak peek at the new content that's coming to Calico over the next few months. First up, the original Calico DLC Neat Things is coming this spring to Xbox and PlayStation. Neat Things adds new NPCs, new quests, and lots of new friends to meet and bring home to your cafe. We hope you'll check it out on its own or as part of a bundle. But that's not all. We're also announcing 3 brand new content packs for Calico. These mix and match packs can be purchased individually or as a bundle, and each one adds even more charm and creativity to Heart Island. First up, we have the Furniture Pack. Redecorate to your heart's content with tons of new furniture pieces, new style sets, and fresh decorations for your cafe. Mix old favorites with brand new looks, and give your customers even more to love. Next, we have the Clothing Pack. This pack expands Calico's already huge clothing customization. New clothing types, new textures, and new styles let you create millions of combinations. Show off your unique vibe with new outfits and accessories. Last, and maybe the most important of all, the Animal Pack. This pack adds a whole bunch of cuddly new creatures across Heart Island. New friends to discover, new cats to wobble and jiggle, and new ways to play. Your cat cafe dreams just got bigger. These mix and match packs can be purchased individually or as a bundle, and each one adds even more charm and creativity to Heart Island. We're thrilled to share that all 3 DLC packs will be coming to PC and consoles in 2026. If you haven't gotten into the world of Calico, we're also thrilled to announce to PC players that Calico is on deep discount with a daily deal on Steam today. We're also releasing an art book and bundle that lets you dive deep into the world of Calico. Click the link in the description to check it out today. We've got time for one last announcement. Want to play Calico but don't always have time to curl up on the couch? Good news! Soon you can take your cat cafe anywhere. We've partnered with Epic Games to bring the full cozy Calico experience right to your phone. Stay tuned over the next few months for more updates, including how to sign up for demos and betas.
Thank you all so much for sticking with us through all these years of Calico, and especially thank you to those that originally backed our Kickstarter all those years ago. You truly made this possible. We've been so incredibly lucky to have made something that people love, and even more lucky that we get such a wonderful community of players. We've loved seeing your cafes, your cakes, your pastries, and yes, even all your wonderfully goofy glitches and bugs. I can't believe it's been 5 years since Calico launched, and even longer since we started making it. I could never have imagined how lucky we've been with how it's done, and even more lucky that we've been able to keep making things in this little world that we've made. While we can't say too much yet, we never get bored of working within the Calico world and have no plans of leaving it anytime soon as we look forward to what's next. Stay tuned!
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We're so excited for 5 more years of Calico and all the fun that that's going to bring. Stay tuned for a stream with the developers, and have fun in your cafe. Bye for meow. Let's try again. Okay, so, yeah. So what was the inspiration for Calico?
Well, we started making it just as a practice for game dev, and I was just like, okay, if I'm gonna make a game, I want cats and magical girls. So,
I mean, how can you go wrong?
Yeah, and then it was like, oh, and a cat cafe would be really cute. And there at the time were like no cat cafe games. So I wanted to do that, and then Andrew didn't join in until later, and he had messaged me and was like, hey, like you're posting cool art on Twitter about this. Do you want me to help? And I was like, a bunch of people have offered to help, but it didn't really pan out. And then he sent me like a demo of like, I had sent him the like a 3D file that I had made of Sunny, and he has her putting like a cat on her head, and I was like, oh, it's so good. And then it just kind of like kept going in the direction of what else would be cute. Originally I was like, oh, I should make it like an action game and a cozy game. At the time, we didn't really have the concept of cozy games.
Yeah.
I was like, in the daytime it would be the cat cafe, and then at night it'll turn into a magical girl fight club, which is still a viable
I was gonna
concept.
say, I think if there is going to be like some sort of follow-up, some sort of spin-off, because the way that cat cafe with a fight club in the basement hits is just so good. Like,
it's still possible, but I'm not very good at designing combat, so
yes,
we need a combat team.
Okay, well, so if anybody out there is, interested in this, you know what to do, because I think the world needs that. I am into that idea. Well, so what happened to the fighting part then?
I think we were kind of testing the idea around of like getting feedback from people, and it was kind of like people either wanted more fighting or less fighting.
Okay.
They weren't super into half fighting.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so we decided to just pivot like fully into like a more cozy style. And also it's very like, at the time this was our first game and everything, and we didn't have an animator like anybody else. So that would require a lot of animations.
Yeah.
We shifted away from that pretty early. And then it was more about riding cats and putting cats on your head.
Which, I mean, obviously worked out extremely well. So, no complaints to be had there.
Yeah. Still non-magical girl fighting games though. We could use more.
I really do think that that's an untapped market. I think you could do a lot with that. I think people would be really excited about it.
Yeah. And that's the weird thing about the landscape now versus when we made the game, was there were no other cat cafe games. There weren't like a lot of cozy games, or even a lot of like farming sim games that were
not Stardew Valley.
Yeah, not Stardew Valley. And now there are a lot, and we're actually like we're still tapping an untapped market, because there's like still very few pink and sparkly cozy games. So what's nice is we still have that, and we still also get a lot of good feedback about the character creator.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Even though we really don't have that much clothing still or anything, it's like I'm really proud of how we made it, and I just put in all the things that I was annoyed that other ones didn't have.
Well, yeah, and I mean, having all the different color options is nice, because even if the designs are simple, then there's still so much you can do to personalize. Because I know just from playing other games, like, sure, they might have all of these different outfits and things like that, but you're like, well, I like that design, but that like color palette looks terrible on my character.
Yeah, that's always my problem, because I want everything pink. And so like games will have this like wonderful spread of clothing, but only like a tiny portion of it is in pink, and then if it's in pink, like the right pink that I want.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's better to just let people pick colors, because that's like their requirement for their fashion, is like the color that they want.
It's such a simple little thing to add, because you think about how many games you're able to like customize your character down to like how long their nose hairs are and every little color and every little thing, and then you could easily just put a little slider in there for their clothing. Because
and it's definitely about how to design it, and it's easier for us because we're cartoon style, so like
right, you're not having to go for that hyper realism.
Yeah, because a lot of games, if they try to pivot to the color selection on all the clothing, they have a texture that has a piece of clothing with green and blue and red, and then you can't just overlay pink on it because then it like messes up it won't work right.
Right.
So you have to like design it with that in mind, and yeah, I also just think like the character creator isn't necessarily the goal for a lot of. It's not the first thing they're thinking about. Understandably, they have other stuff.
Yeah.
They're fighting mechanics.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like I had thought the body sliders would be more difficult because so few games do that, and it wasn't easy, but I was able to do it with like very limited knowledge. So I was glad that worked out as well as it did. I think that's probably like the best made part about it, whereas like I wasn't as skilled at the time about knowing like how to make like the textures look perfect or any of that kind of stuff, but the body sliders like still hold up really well.
So if you were saying like clothing's still pretty limited, if you were going to add anything, what do you think you'd add?
I definitely want to add more like textured clothing. Like the jean items that we have in the game right now are like the only ones that kind of that have line art on them that like indicate texture, and I would love to use that to like make a skirt but make it ruffly. And just add a little more detailed items. And there's a ton. I mean, we basically have a very basic like shape range right now where it's just representing clothing in forms of like shapes. Like you can make a long skirt, but you can't make a 2-tiered long skirt, or like, and a lot of specific fashion niches do lean into those specifics. Like you want to see lace on Lolita and like that kind of thing. See more chains on cool goth stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to add more of those specific like fashion niches and things that represent those.
That would be really cool. That fits the very magical girl type vibe to having just those extra bits of detail, like you said, the extra accessorizing, the extra being extra. It just fits with everything else.
Yeah, and some more baggy clothing, because we are kind of missing like that fashion angle of like being able to wear much more loose clothing, especially for like more like mass presenting kind of fashion.
Yeah. Let's get our other chair in here.
And I love I made like the different style ranges of furniture, and the cat table is just a regular table with the little tiny cat socks.
I know. Just little details like that that spark joy. No, we're good with that color.
And this is like a wild way to pick colors. I could not figure out how I wanted to like visualize the color palette. Because there's like 4 dimensions to colors. There's value, saturation, and hue. And like a single square will show, well, there's value, saturation, and hue, and I forget. I feel like there's one more because that doesn't sound like enough, but it like doesn't fit into a square. You have to put another dimension in it. But then I decided to use that to separate hue, because it's really hard to match color palettes when you're trying to make everything match each other, because you can have things that are like 10 steps removed. Like you can mix blue with teal, but if you mix blue with like a slightly different blue, it like looks kind of off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's like a big part of character creator and like furniture and all the customization, is trying to figure out a mix of giving people the most options possible for them to do whatever they want, and all these edge cases you don't think about and goals they have in mind that you haven't planned for, but also making it so that they don't have to actually be a full professional artist to be able to use them and make something that looks good.
I know that's been a thing I've been discovering. Just, you know, you get into playing games, you get into messing with mods and things like that, and then and then if you're me, then you get in there and you're like, I don't know how to do any of this. I'm gonna put
yeah, I mean, you could put a
look
full
bad.
you could put a full 3D modeler in your game, but that requires people to be able to
like understand how to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing with the character creators that let you morph the face and like change the cheekbones and the noses, and you're basically 3D modeling at that point, and that's very hard for people.
Yeah. I got caught in the wall. Okay. All right, we're good.
Which is why now they like lean a lot into presets of like, okay, now you pick the preset and you can like edit like the nose bigger or like the cheek one thing.
Yeah, just give me a few options. If I have too many, I'm going to get overwhelmed. So, okay. If there weren't, and there still aren't really a lot of games like Calico, was there anything that kind of inspired you or like didn't inspire you? Like sort of did the opposite where you were like, okay, I do not want anything like that. Like this is terrible.
Well, at that time it was a lot of the like classics like Harvest Moon. I played like Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley, even like the Pokemon games and the way that like they let you interact with the Pokemon. Like you can pet Pokemon in a bunch of some of the like recent past
I remember when they introduced that and I was just like, you can pet them now?
So it was a lot of that, and then we actually started making the game before Breath of the Wild, but weirdly enough, Breath of the Wild had a bunch of stuff, like you can ride a bunch of the random animals, like bears and deer and stuff in that game. And I used Breath of the Wild more for like environment mapping, because they do like such a good like open world. Obviously, they're like notorious.
Well, right.
But we made like a delineation between like cozy games that are also casual games and cozy games that lean more into like strategy. Because Stardew Valley, you can play it very laid back, but the kind of point of it is for you to get super deep into it and get into the strategy.
If I watch Matt play, like the way that he's got his gardens completely mapped out and he's like looking at it and he's like, no, we need another of this crop here, and like he's got a science to it. So you could play it, which would be probably the way that I would play it, and just be like, I'm just going to kiss everybody. But he's like, no, we gotta look at this, we gotta do this, gotta plan it all out.
I know someone who like will date everyone until they have all the pictures of them that you can hang up in your house in Stardew Valley, and then divorce them and then go to the next person, and it's like a sequence that they do, a ritual. So that was kind of a decision to make, is like, how much do we want? Because there is our market and goal being games for like a stressed out person who needs to have something padded, like something that they know won't like challenge them in certain ways, like won't challenge their like stress or fear. If they're in like a recovery phase where they really like, one time I was like 10 and I accidentally watched Final Destination 2. It ruined my life. But after that I watched like Sagwa, the Siamese cat. That's like a recovery show. Like it's something you know is not going to like
safe space.
Yeah, and you don't need that all the time. Sometimes you do want to challenge yourself and watch a horror movie, and sometimes you want like a way bigger challenge or action, but this is for a person in a very specific headspace. The interesting dynamic of that is that a lot of times when you're really stressed out or like trying to like kind of process something, you actually do want challenge because it'll distract you. Like a lot of people, you know, you're playing Stardew because you do need to calm down and to calm down, you need like something that engages your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a balance, especially with giving players the option of what they want to do in the game. It's like, yeah, you could decide to unlock, like systematically unlock every single area and get every single animal. Basically, the term would be spreadsheet gamers. Like we kept in mind spreadsheet gamers, where it's like what they want to do is like they want to collect and organize and
max everything out and optimize their performance of the video game to the maximum. That is unfortunately not me.
It's me on certain days. It really depends.
Well, I was gonna say, I say that, but then there are times where I'm like, I gotta collect all of the things.
Yeah. If I feel like I can collect them, I'm pretty motivated to do that.
That's
but
true.
if it's like Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild, I'm like, I have kids. I can't.
I have to draw the line somewhere.
I can't spend 1,000 hours on this.
I would love to, but I can't.
Yeah. Something like that we've learned from this though is to definitely bake in more like perpetual gaming, because a lot of people kept wanting to play. They didn't even necessarily care about what that content would be, but they want to keep being in the world.
Yeah.
And to be in the world, you feel like you still need like tasks to do.
Yeah. No, I get that. I know for me, just like you finish a book or something that really piques your interest, or a game obviously, but just anything like that where you really fall in love with the world and you're just like, I just want to be there. Like you are thinking of all of the things that like your character might do, and you just want to keep doing it. And it's why people do replay games over and over again, because they're like, I'm not ready to say goodbye to the universe yet.
Yeah. It's a hard balance too, because I have a lot of games that I've played where I have that feeling like I want to stay in the world forever, and I do all the little tiny, like even less fun like game things, and then I accidentally burn out before I actually get to like the cool like mid-end of a game.
Yeah, I know that experience. Yep.
Yeah, I did it a lot with Breath of the Wild. Except at least for that one, you could get right to the end, do everything else, and then there's just like a Ganon battle.
Yeah. I know we talked a lot about Baldur's Gate 3 was with Matt there. He watched me play it like too many times. But he's never played to the end of the game.
Oh yeah, Baldur's Gate I did that with, where I was doing all this other stuff, and you could play that game for forever.
Yeah, you can. And I mean, he will get to Act 3 and then every time just be like, and I'm done. And just he has never finished it. So we got to the point where he watched me play the end of it. Well, I guess it was the first time I got to the end was the first time he got to the end. So he was just like, I don't know anything that's going on. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so while I'm having emotional responses to everything, he's just like, well, isn't this interesting? But
yeah, I went into the end and I decided I had to stop. I had to go into the end because I was done, and I had like not done like 3 of the characters' backstories.
Oh no.
The vampire guy who I'm forgetting the name of.
Astarion.
Yeah, I like didn't do any of his stuff, which I'm sure is like sacrilege because this is like the favorite character of a lot of people.
Well, hold on, where is it? I got my water bottle here with
in a way that makes sense, I focused a lot on making sure I did the things that would get me the pets. So I got the dog, and
you can't play it without them.
There's no way. That's the draw for me. Which it's so cool that they put that cute like. And now I'm owlbear.
Where is he? I love him. That was actually I tell the story a lot of how I almost did, for as much as I now have played it a billion times, I almost didn't play it because when you get in there, everybody's mean to you. And I was just like, I hate it. Why? I want to just talk to everybody and be friends. Why are people being mean to me?
That's precisely like there still isn't a Baldur's Gate 3 cozy game. Generally cozy games are lower scale.
I would lose my marbles. You would never see me again. I would be gone.
Unfortunately, like the best dress-up game I've played is Infinity Nikki, which is so good, and then it has this big gacha aspect, and I'm like, I wish this was a premium game.
Yeah, I almost didn't play because everybody was mean to me, and then I played as a druid, and you got to when you wild shaped, your animal form could still do human things. So you could sit on a chair as a bear, and I was just like, that's it. I don't need anything else. This moment has gotten me to continue playing the game because I can sit on a chair and climb a ladder as a bear. Like I'm It's these
I picked shapeshifter too.
Yeah, I was a moon druid, and I was just like, this is it. This is it for me. This is peak. Because if I could talk to the animals and do all of that stuff, then I am a happy person. So of course, I get in here and I'm like, I can pick them up and shake them because that's all I ever want to do, really, in any game. If there is a creature, I'm like, the baby, and just have to like,
yeah, that's really the driving like force of the game. Was I play so many games where I'm playing the game to get to the stuff that I personally want to do, like get the animals that they have or get the clothing that they have, and I have to do all this gameplay that sometimes I'm interested in, but sometimes I'm like not. But they're like a game with a really good like clothing. Like part of Baldur's Gate was I was like, oh, I want to do the character creator and I want to like make a character. And I want to be this thing that can change shapes, but I wasn't super into like the fighting as much. I did enjoy like the puzzle aspect of the role, like role what's it called? The way you fight in that game.
Oh, just the like the strategy aspect of it. Yeah, you have to roll for everything, and the Dungeons and Dragons sort of strategy there.
Yeah. And I used to play like Shadowrun and other like D&D-esque tabletop role-playing games. So with Calico, it's just like, okay, what if you didn't have to get to almost the end of the game to get the outfit that you want? Because you want to play the game in the outfit.
Yeah.
And and the animals that you want, because you want them while you do the rest of the game. A lot of the games, they have that as the reward at the end, and I'm like, well, now I don't need them as much.
Yeah. No, there's nothing more disappointing when you get something and you're like, this is perfect. And then you're like, I get to enjoy this for 30 seconds. Like I've been playing this for how many hours, and now I get 5 minutes of enjoying this item, whatever it is.
And I don't remember how we came to being really tiny to do food stuff. It made sense. I think we just have ended up doing a lot of like size and shape stuff. Like the cats can get bigger and you can ride them, and like we didn't figure this out until like more near the end, or I feel like we could make it a more like cohesive theme. But kind of this dollhouse aspect of instead of a sandbox game, a dollhouse game, which I'm trying to start. I'm trying to make a thing.
That should be a thing. I can see it being a thing.
Because I think a lot of sandbox games, the concept is, and this isn't like better or worse, it's just a very different like motivation, is here's a tool or weapon or that kind of thing at the beginning, play with it, and here's the sandbox to play with it. Whereas ours is, here's items of which you could use to role play a certain thing that you want to do in your head, in like a domestic sort of situation. And then here are some things you can do, like here are some tasks so you can play with those. And I think now that I know that, like I can plan something more cohesive. But I love how we just ended up, there did end up being this like size thing of you get really tiny to cook, and the cats get really big so you can carry it, you could be on them, and you can make big animals really tiny so you can put them on your head.
Yes.
Because that's what happens with doll houses. You usually have a bunch of different sets of toys that all have different scales, and you're like, okay, here's the gigantic car from like the set I have with cars this big, and I'm gonna put all the animals in it. Or like, here's my gigantic cat plushie versus the Barbie, and the Barbie's gonna ride the cat and like go around.
Oh yeah, I mean we see that with like our kids now, watching our kids play, and you do see where it's like, okay, now the small cars are going to get inside of the big car, and they're gonna go somewhere together.
And it makes sense because like the world isn't sized for kids, so they feel that a lot. And also I feel that a lot because I'm 5'1", but
5'2", I get it.
Yeah, but it's funnier with kids because it's like, okay, half the things in my house I'm too big for, half the things in my house I'm too tiny for.
Yeah, especially when you get them where they're like varying ages, and it's just like, no, you can't fit into this anymore. You cannot fit inside this, and they're like, but I will. And
yeah, except Cora's my daughter's socks are like almost my size socks. It's very trippy.
That is weird.
It's a weird situation.
That is weird.
But yeah, I think like I love the way we did kind of make the cafe a dollhouse. But I'm excited like in future plans to like make things like kind of really lean into it. And also like incorporate some other stuff like Polly Pockets or like other toys.
I loved Polly Pockets. I loved them so much.
And with the kid stuff is we do have like a big range of ages of players. So there's also a challenge in designing for like adults and kids, and having both of those be the main player, because usually it's like, you know, adults really liked Bluey or My Little Pony, but it's made for kids.
Right.
And they are 100% they're designing for kids, and adults happen to like it. And then there's, you know, things for adults, or even like K-pop Demon Hunters is not created for 4-year-olds, but 4-year-olds absolutely love K-pop Demon Hunters.
They sure do.
They did
a movie night at our kids' elementary school, and holy cow, the way that those kids were going crazy.
Yep.
But me too. I also love the music.
That's like a very cool and rare thing, and I think those are the most popular and like consuming like kids movies or kids media are those things that appeal to the whole family. Yeah, and they all like. It's not like one person tolerates. It's like they all love it. And that's what I'd really like to tap into. I think we definitely were able to like. It's easier with cozy games because the adults who like cozy games want them to incorporate the styles that are in kids games.
Yeah.
They generally like the type of game we're making was also casual, so that means it can be playable by younger people. Big hurdles were like control scheme is very hard to figure out because like kids can't rapidly press buttons. I mean, it's accessibility stuff for like adults too.
Yeah.
The cooking stuff was hard for that, and when we went into redoing the cooking mini games to make them like more dynamic and fun, we realized we don't design that much game stuff. We're much better at putting cats on people's heads, so it was a big challenge for us. It was like a huge process for us to figure out all the mini games. And we learned a ton from it because it was much different than designing the rest of the game, which was, you know, mostly visual design and just ideas and putting those like singular ideas that didn't really have to interact. And then Oliver just spinning around.
Just vibing. Sitting alone in the VIP.
By the time this is the remake of the kitchen, and by the time I was remaking it, I'm like so much better at making stuff. So like things look a bit better, but also I wasn't using textures. I was like vector painting on Blender to do like most of the kitchen and assets for the kitchen. I really like the cauldron and the big bow that's on the cauldron.
It is really cute. I love the colors in it also. It's very pretty.
That was something at the beginning of making Calico. We made the first Kickstarter, and we made like the demo for it, which was much more saturated. It was like very bright, very like primary colors. And I spent like a solid 3 months on my tablet, like literally just trying to figure out the color palette. And I'm super happy with that too, like the pink and the blues, like the much more cool toned grass. And I kind of figured out the saturation levels, because you think, oh, you don't want it less bright for like a cutesy game, but actually more bright is like way too much. You want pastel.
It gets aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it's everywhere, when it's like all things, it's a lot.
Do this.
Yeah, we went in between a lot of stuff with like the main influence was like Cooking Mama, but it ended up very different than Cooking Mama. But I used to play that game all the time with the like Wii, and like it was their way to show like the gimmicky aspect of the Wii, so it was super intense. Mm-hmm. But also minorly impossible, because they have you like crack an egg, and it never works with the motion controls. You always accidentally like crack it too hard. Or maybe that was me when I was 8, I don't know.
I don't know, because there were definitely times. Everybody has the experience, and I guess we've gotten to carry it on because now you have the motion controls with the Switch also.
Yeah.
But everybody has the experience of like you're doing the thing and it's just like, no, you are not. That's not what you're doing with your body. And you're just like, what am I doing with my body? What am I doing? Because I did a lot of like Just Dance and a lot of the motion games, because I was just like, yeah, this is fun. Or even doing like trying to play Guitar Hero and having it be like a rock band when you were singing. Because I could never, I'm a terrible gamer, and so anytime anything requires like timed controls, I'm honestly really bad at it.
That's the funny part about the cooking mini games is they're all the difficulty, unfortunately, is scaled for Andrew, who was playing them like every single second, every single day for like a year. So it's like basically almost impossible to get gold. But luckily, like the game isn't. That's kind of like a nice to have thing. You don't need to do it in a certain amount of time, and it never times out.
Yeah.
And I like those aspects because like, yeah, there's different type of players. There's a type of player who's like, I want to min-max this. I want to like perfect it. And then the type that's like, I don't even want there to be a clock. I want to go at my own pace.
Well, and like just, kind of thinking of the story in the game too, like all of the quests and tasks and things that you have, nothing feels urgent. Nothing feels like you need to go do it now. Which is good, because if you are just kind of trying to play it casually, like you might not be able to get to everything.
Yeah. Or if you're a kid, I always hate the things that stop the game if you're not doing it right. Because
you can't do anything else.
Then you can't do it. And like if Cora were to try to play it, there's no way that she would like get it in a certain amount of time, especially if she's learning. So it's like you want that open-endedness. You want a difficulty that can scale all the way down and still be able to play it, because you can't get better unless you can get from that base amount.
Exactly. I mean, you said it there. If you can't make it work in the first place, then you can't. Sorry, I'm focusing on trying to bake this. I'm like,
This is where I realized more of the like kid toy aspect, because I was like, easy bake oven, I'm putting it in here.
Easy bake oven.
And then I had this like situation where I was looking up references for the easy bake oven and being like, which one do I think I was using? Because none of these exactly look like that. This was the closest, I think.
Yeah. I get a real kick out of, have you ever watched, just thinking Dollhouse and things, have you ever watched Trixie Mattel's videos on YouTube? Where she's
I've seen
things
the
with
like
Easy
little
Bake
preview.
Oven.
Yeah. I've seen other videos making things with the easy bake oven. It's very funny because it's like much harder than you think, because it has this tiny amount that you can put in. Like it has to be this tall.
Yeah.
And it can't be any taller, and you can't push it too fast or else the batter is gonna like splash out.
And just ignite, yeah. It's very funny too to think, you know, I was playing with this in the 90s and they were still using they had to use the incandescent bulb, right?
Yeah.
Because you needed to heat it up, and then you think about how hot that gets.
It was
And
such
it's
a
all
burn.
made of metal. It's like, man, could they make this today? Could they make these toys today without there being like lawsuits of how hot?
Yeah, they have current versions, and I forget what they use. It might just be like a less hot bulb, but I don't remember.
Well, and I'm sure they probably have like better safety features with it now.
Yeah.
Well, but it's yeah, it's definitely funny to think about. Okay, so we have made our cookies. Let's go. I'll say, you know, talking about everybody liking it, one thing that was kind of neat for me, I was teaching at the time that Calico came out. Well, I mean, it came out during 2020, during lockdown and all of that. And then I went back to teaching, you know, the following year. And I had a student actually find out, like, I forget what we were talking about. Maybe I was just talking about what we do. And they said, wait a minute, you make Calico. And I was like, well, not me, no. But like, yeah, like the company does. We helped make it happen. And he was just like, that's the game I play when I'm stressed. Like when I've been doing all my homework, I've been applying for colleges, I've been done with work, whatever, I will just sit down with my Switch and I will play Calico for like an hour. And I'm just like, that makes me really happy to hear. Like that's the exact thing that we're going for.
Yeah, it's really great to like bump into people, because I'll wear like my sweater around and someone will be like, wait, is that Calico?
That's one that we'll get a lot, because I know like when we do all the festivals in town and stuff, a lot of the time we're wearing merch and like we're wearing our shirts, or we've got our pins, and people will be like, I've played that game, or I've seen that game, or something like that. Well, and you had the maker of Elden Ring email you, didn't he?
Well, now I see, the problem is I had kids since then. All of my memories are very fuzzy.
Well, I mean, I feel that.
We did a podcast. Yeah, I mean, I'm mixing up like a lot of things because yeah, there's like a bunch of really cool devs that I respect who like either backed us on Kickstarter, or we ended up being able to do like podcasts with, because our games were coming out similar times.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's like, that part is, feel very fortunate for, because I don't know, that's the coolest part. It is really cool. And especially when I find it really funny. I think devs are more impressed if they meet someone who made a game that their kid likes, which is true. If I meet someone who made a game my kid likes, like, my kid doesn't like anything. My kid likes 3 things.
Yeah, they like chicken nuggets, yelling, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so when they say that, they're always like so legitimately excited. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell my kid I bumped into you.
It's very heartwarming when you see your kids happy and excited about something.
Yeah.
So when you see the person who made that happen, it's like, you're like, you brought not only them joy, but you're bringing me joy. So
yeah, and like I've played a couple games, a couple indie games with Cora. She's like a full gamer now. She plays The first one was Little Kitty Big City, which we actually have like a little cameo in, which I forgot because I was pregnant.
Well,
I think
yeah.
when I
Get it?
so when we get to the end, I'm like, oh yeah, we're in the that's the Calico game. She was so excited, and she is obsessed with that game, and I'm like so in love with it because of that. And then we played A Short Hike, and I didn't realize when I was playing it how much it's about the relationship between the player and their mom. Because you get to the top and you finally are able to call your mom, and it's like this incredibly sweet interaction that Cora and I like. I did like I read to her it.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's like, I love you, Mom. And Cora goes, I love you, Mom. And I was like, just like weeping.
Open weeping. Well, we played ukulele with Mac, and I mean now he wants to be like a pro gamer. He wants to have his own YouTube channel. And he's played Pokemon. He's played Kirby. He loves Kirby.
Oh yeah, the Kirby games are great for kids, and I hadn't played them for a while until like now with Cora. So it's like I'm learning a lot from that because they are very much made to be playable by kids. Like they have all the dialogue is like not necessary. None of it tells you how to play the game. They like visually tell you how to play the game. Kirby doesn't talk.
Yeah, it's all very instinctual. Like you learn.
Yeah. And I didn't realize because I had never played these. I think it's Star Allies. We've played like 3. That you give them a little smooch on the cheek to share health, and I'm like,
so cute. How
how did I not know that you can kiss in the Kirby game? It's like so cute.
No, that is adorable.
And whatever I make next has to have just a little pecks on the cheek, friendly pecks on the cheek. It's like the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, just let everybody show affection. Yes.
That's actually a thing that we looked at of like, do kids games have dating in them? Because when I think about it, I'm like, oh, of course, because I played a bunch of them when I was a kid. And then I looked at the ratings and I'm like, oh, Harvest Moon was like E10. All these other ones are like E10 or T for teen. And we still really want to be E for everyone. So, but it's really like ephemeral. They don't tell you exactly how it works.
Yeah.
And I guess usually, like as with other things, people usually lean into one or the other. They want to make a dating sim. They're gonna go full on the teen or mature dating sim.
Yeah.
Which
they know their audience.
yeah, which I do think is leaving out like romantic love as like a thing that kids can interact with, because like with their Barbie dolls, the Barbie dolls have wedding dresses and
They're
can get
kissing,
married, and
they're doing everything. Yeah.
and it's hard
like,
to,
you know, you're playing house as a kid, and you start getting your first little crushes when you're well under 10 years old.
Yeah, and they're like, it's definitely cutesy love romantic, like completely on that side, but there are very few games that have just that and stop there. So it's something I'm thinking about as like a game dev in like the future, but yeah, it's hard to tell. I do, at least like with dollhouse aspect, I think the most important thing is giving players the pieces to put those things together for themselves if they want to. So it's like you could make like a version of Stardew Valley where you don't even have all the dating at the beginning. You just have, hey, I picked this person, they live in my house. Because that's what you want. You want to be able to like pick, I like this person either romantically or platonically, I get to put them in my house. And then if you're an adult, you can imagine it a little more intense, and if you're not, like, you can just be like, yeah, that's what people do when they love each other, is they live in the same house.
Well, yeah, it's not like you're, or maybe you just think they're my friend. They're just my friend who gets to be with me all the time.
Yeah.
Because I know that's, my kids will be at school and they are just like, we we're friends, they're gonna come over to my house. And I'm like, oh, they are? This is news to me. And he's just like, yeah, he's gonna come over to our house and we're gonna have a sleepover. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I want to put out like a survey to kind of gauge the audience and what they would like on that, because it is kind of hard to tell, because there's also like the aspect of like the queer community wants explicit representation of that. Like they want it overt, they don't want implied, because that's usually what you're working with in most media, is like this implied like, oh, if you know, then you know that Bubblegum and Marceline in Adventure Time love each other. It's not actually made clear until the adult show with oh, I'm forgetting. Now I'm forgetting in my head.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It's not Finn and Jake, it's something in Cake. Fiona and Cake. Fiona and Cake, which I watched and was really, really good. It's really hard to tell like what kids are ready for and like what's appropriate for them, because we want to make it safe for kids 100%. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we also want like accurate and representation that they don't usually get. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff to like balance. Mm-hmm. I am glad that in Calico we were able to like very overtly be like, these two are girlfriends. Makes me happy. Sunny and Blossom.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were just talking because the Wicked movie just came out, right? And everybody was freaking out. Well, not everybody. One lady was freaking out because Fierro has his shirt off in one scene. And heaven forbid. And
they have war in that movie.
There's like overt racism. Like there's a lot going on. And a man
they imply a lot of murder, like a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like yeah. I mean, no spoilers, but like that same man has something happen to him, and he, lady freaking out about it, and people are like, you do know that in like every children's movie there is kissing. Like, yeah, every one of the Disney classics that are rated G, they're rated for everyone. And almost every single one, somebody's kissing.
Yeah.
And you probably let your kids watch that and you don't even question it. So, like, what?
Especially, we've been watching a lot of the classics.
I watched, Tarzan was pretty dark. I was going to say, Tarzan is in a loincloth for the whole movie, but that one's actually pretty dark now that I think about it.
Cora's new favorite movie is Nightmare Before Christmas. We watch it literally every day.
That's a good one.
And it's fairly mature.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell with ages though, because like at 4, I guess she wouldn't understand something. So it's more of like once they start being able to understand certain like implications, then you have to be more careful. It's the same with like I can watch literally anything around the baby because the baby does not have the context to understand what
they interpret it at their level.
Yeah.
And what they understand. So like if they're not even thinking about like romance yet in their lives, if they're not even thinking about like people are boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, anything, if they're not thinking about any of that, they're not going to think about it. Like they don't have a concept of it.
Yeah, they don't have a concept. I watched like Family Guy way too early and I just didn't understand. I especially both Family Guy and
you're like, this is supposed to be funny.
Yeah. Oh, they tripped over something.
You don't get why.
They made it so silly.
You're just like, oh, this is silly.
My favorite thing about those types of shows as a kid is I didn't realize they were references, like all it literally 100%
referencing something else.
And I'm like, wow, it's really interesting that that Family Guy invented Star Wars.
Wow, they made like a fanfic of this Family Guy episode. That's so
it's
cool.
wild they made a live action of this Family Guy episode. Yeah, so that's like something we're always thinking about is like that level of like trusting your audience and the maturity of the audience and understanding like what is actually like harmful and what is like a good like challenge for them or like a good like like stepping stone into like maturity, and it's difficult because again, like I think learning like doing some amount of safe dating as like a preteen in like games and media, which preteens are usually using like safe visual media, not like as much games, because again the games are like one or the other usually. But it's like kind of necessary. It's necessary to watch those I'm trying to think of all the movies I've watched recently that were the cute like tween romance movies.
Darn it.
To all the
Boys I've Loved Before?
Yes, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, super cute.
There was one that I just watched recently, and I'm trying to think. The name of it is escaping me. It's driving me nuts. The boy from Heartstopper, one of the boys from Heartstopper is in it, although Heartstopper could be on that list as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and I can't think of it.
Yeah, they had that debate with Heartstopper because there is a balance between there is value in media that shows queer love that is also made for kids, because there's so little of it.
Oh, you know what was one that was very cute was Geek Girl.
I haven't seen
that. It's a TV series. It's on Netflix, and it's based on books, if I recall correctly. But that's a very cute. There's like very cute little boy and girl. The girl's neurodivergent, and falling in love. And there's a very cute scene where they're like, their fingers touch when they're like both looking at a book together, and I almost lost my mind. I was like,
so cute. I know, it brings you back to like being excited for that. Like,
you really have all, a like very visceral like memory of it.
Yeah. Oh, I just forgot the one I was thinking of. But yeah, it's I watched Twilight, which wasn't entirely that, but it kind of is. Because it's very
Twilight,
like, oh, they're standing next to each other.
Yeah, a lot of standing and staring.
Yeah.
That. But yeah, I mean, there definitely is like a lot of movies and books and things where you're forming your ideas of what like relationships are and what friendships are because you're seeing them or reading them being played out in front of you.
Yeah. Cora gets too embarrassed at the end of Nightmare Before Christmas because they have like the like very short love song at the end where they're just walking together in like the graveyard, and it's too cute.
That's adorable.
It's too cute for me, the reaction. It's so cute. But yeah, that's why for Calico we couldn't figure it out, and it was also a dating mechanic is like a really big design situation.
Yeah.
So my goal was just put in a bunch of really cute people, and then people can be like, I love that person. That's my crush.
Yeah, you can fill in the blanks from there.
Yeah. But yeah, if anyone's watching this and you have feedback for how you want dating sims,
yes.
Let me know.
An elephant hat. I shouldn't have bought the robotic mouse.
Because yeah, we get a lot of feedback that's one direction or another. It's like, wow, I really wish there was I wish there were more adult themes, or like, no, I really like that this is one of the games that I can turn my brain off and it's very padded wall. Or padded corners. So it's always, it's like, that's a lot of the questions in Calico is the balance between the adult players and the kid players and what those two types of players want. When we first started showing it around, I had to be really, really careful about listening to people who wanted to play the game, because initially I got a lot of feedback from very good friends, but who aren't fans of this type of game, who would give me feedback that's basically turn it into a different type of game. I wish there was more difficulty, and I wish there was more challenge, and it's like, I think you want a different game.
It's okay to say that you don't want this.
Yeah. But I think that's where a lot of game devs fall. That's kind of where they trip up, and a thing we really worked to try to not trip up on is you have in your head the market you want, or like the player types that you want. We want like a 4-year-old who really likes cutesy stuff, and their needs are like easy controls and like low difficulty and not super requiring like a ton of reading, or even any reading if possible. And then like player who is really stressed out, they just came home from something like traumatic and they need to play a video game and get their mind off of it. And you have these different player types, and at least at minimum, one of those player types has to love the game. Because if you're making a game where you have 5 player types and every single one of them is okay or tolerates the game, you don't watch it, you don't play it. And that's the thing with K-pop Demon Hunters, is people make a lot of media that's like, okay, this would be appropriate for everyone and everyone would tolerate it, but no one in the family is asking for it. Like, no one's going to be like, let's watch this thing. Whereas K-pop Demon Hunters, you have teens who love K-pop or music or musicals, or think the characters are really cute, who really want to watch this thing. They absolutely adore it. You have kids who love the music because it's like really rhythmic and lyrical, and like they can understand it fairly like well, and it's very action oriented on the screen. There's a lot of colors. You have 2 people who absolutely adore this piece of media, and that's where you get success. So it's like, okay, I can make this more difficult. A person who wants a difficult game isn't gonna buy this game. They're gonna buy Hollow Knight.
Right, yeah.
So now I've made it more tolerable for someone who wasn't gonna buy the game.
Right.
Whereas if you make it less tolerable for someone who would have loved the game, and now you have someone who's like, I would love this game, but it's a little too hard. Yeah, I'm not gonna ask for this game because like Cora asks for Little Kitty Big City because she's like, I love every single thing about this game, and I ask for it because I'm like, I played the game myself before we got it for Cora, and we just happen to have it on there. I was like, I love this game because it has cats, and like it has jokes that are like cute and funny, and really good cat animations, which I appreciate.
I mean, yes, yeah. That makes me think of one of the things that like will get joked about in Baldur's Gate, just since we mentioned it, is how some of the cats just look completely whack. Like their faces, it's just like it's very like Renaissance painting of a cat.
Yeah,
where you're like, have you seen a cat? Do you know what a cat looks like?
What's funny is I don't remember that because I'm just like pet cat. But I do remember when it's really good.
But the speak with animals on the cats, because again, playing as a druid, you're like, I gotta talk to everybody. If I try to play it without being able to speak to the animals, I'm like, this game is stupid. What's the point if I can't talk to this cat?
Yeah. That was a really cool part because it wasn't a selling point for me because I didn't know about it. And when I was playing it, I was like, oh man, that's good. That's really, someone had their eye out for me. They knew I'd be playing this game.
Well, and I mean, I know for me too, like, you know, Matt obviously has an eye on all of the games that are coming out and is paying attention to everything. And I don't really. I mean, I pay a little bit of attention, and if something really piques my interest, I'm like, yeah, okay, I gotta keep an eye on this. But most of the time, I'm just relying on things that I'm like seeing on social media and things that, if I have friends that that they would be talking about, or like the kids will be talking about. So those are kind of the only ways that I see it. I know Calico blows up on social media. Even now, like it'll still, people freak out. I do think also like visual style helps with that, because that was something we were looking at when we started. There hardly were any cozy games, but by the time we were releasing, there were like a fair amount. And to really differentiate, like you need to be able to pick it out, and like see a screenshot and go, that's the game that's from. And I do know like a lot of the games that are trying to be Stardew Valley, which like we were too, so like super valid, is they didn't visually differentiate enough. And then I think people don't
they don't see a screenshot of it and remember and associate that visually with like a name.
Well, and then you get too where it's like, okay, they tried to be this, but they aren't. Like it's just,
that's
not
something I
quite
heard.
The same.
I had a GDC talk that I did, a Game Developers Conference talk about Calico, like a postmortem, and a big part of that was I completely forgot what I was just saying. What were we
you were doing a GDC postmortem on Calico. We were talking about how a lot of people are trying to be Stardew, but they aren't quite there, and then that's what people remembers. It's like, that just wasn't as good. They just didn't get it.
We realized that our skills were not in making a better Stardew. Like there are people who like they are really great puzzle makers and strategy game makers, and they could probably figure out like combining niches to make a Stardew Valley that is covering a niche that isn't supported by it, or just people who get bored of Stardew. But we very early on went like, we're not strategy like designers. We can't make a better Stardew. We can make a different game that incorporates like a lot of like inspiration from it, or like it taps the same type of gamer, but like there's no way I'm making a better Stardew, so like I'm not going to do that, because why would someone want to play the game if they could play Stardew? Or some of the really good like other indie games that are going that direction, they're much better at that aspect, whereas my thing is like I can do visual design, and I can make really cute people that aren't usually the cute people in other games. When I'm playing Stardew, my big issue with it is I love it, and like I actually love the strategy, and I like organizing, so I like organizing like the farm and stuff, but I'm not super into any of the people. They're not entirely my type. I was just razzed at Thanksgiving dinner yesterday because I said that I only date Shane in Stardew Valley, and everyone was like, Shane? He has a very tragic backstory, and he's mostly
emo one, right? Sorry,
he's the one who's mean to you.
These are my emo bangs.
No, he's the one. He's the dude in a hoodie.
Dude in the hoodie, yeah. Okay, all right.
Dude, like literally just a guy. And it's mostly because the girls are very like just a girl to me. And the other guys are way too specific. It's like it's like emo guy from when I was in middle school, which is like I can't. Jock guy, not for me. Like fancy guy, like fashion guy, who's cool and I would be friends with, but like for some reason I went like, and then doctor who kind of looks like one of my IRL friends, so it wasn't gonna work. I have a guy with stubble I just ignore the fact that he's mean to me, and I think people do that in real life for sure. But luckily this is just a game. Yeah. And he does move in with you with a chicken, which kind of makes up for it.
Well, I mean the chicken is going to be the selling point. Okay. Yeah. I'm getting the cane here. So I guess we can wrap things up.
Sorry, I got distracted by circling animals. They have something going on.
They're plotting something. Okay.
I mean, it was great to talk to you. Yeah. I haven't answered questions about Calico in a little bit, so it's nice to talk about it.
It was nice to hear everything because, I mean, the game is still obviously very popular. People still love it, and like I said, we hear about it all the time. Everywhere we go, people are like, "Oh, that's Calico. That's you guys," and which is exciting for us, but. It's not like it's the forefront in our minds either, because other things are going on, but it's clearly still out there in the universe, which is fun. Like, it's just cool to see. But thank you for hanging out with us here.
And I get a lot of comments that are like, I'm so happy you're still like doing stuff with it, because it's been like, I think I've been making it for like 7 or 8 years, and it's been out for 5 years.
Plus the development time, yeah. Wild to think about.
Yeah, and we don't get sick of it, like, ever. I mean, we get sick of like dealing with the like building on an old game, but not the
Well-
concept or universe of Calico. We're just like always psyched.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's, I guess, a sign that you've done it right. If it still brings you joy after so
It
much
might
time.
more be an indication of our neurotype, but
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it.
but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
also that I did accurately make something I would be a fan of, which is always good. That's always a good call to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can't appeal to yourself, how are you going to appeal to
Yeah.
anybody else?
Yeah. And you can test better if you're a core fan.
Exactly. Yeah. Do I enjoy this? Is this fun for
Yeah.
me? No. Okay, then let's do something else. But yeah, no, this has been fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
See ya. Okay. I think so. Yeah.
Oh, tab doesn't work.
Not again. Is your mom texting or whatever?
Nope.
Oh.